Hey guys. So it is the Monday after Easter, and yesterday I went to church to hear my stepdad sing in the choir. My mom used to go to the same church, and she always sang in the choir, and I kind of expected to break down during the service, which I usually do because I imagine her sitting there and her face and singing. But it was okay. It was a good service, and I didn't break down too much. But the sermon, I realized I've heard over 40 Easter sermons in my life, being a preacher's daughter. And the sermon was fine, and it was a great service and all that, but there was just something that kept bothering me, and it's been really settling into my mind over the last few hours. And that is this idea of resurrection. And most Easter services focus on the resurrection, right? There's this song, "Up from the grave he arose, with the mighty triumph for his foes." Da, 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 da. And it goes on, and it's a typical Easter song. And the thing is, it's not true. Like, that song is not true according to the Bible. And wherever your belief structure is, I call myself a Taoist, Sufi, Tantric, open theist who prays to Mother, Father, Goddess, and my mother, basically, these days. But I'm also, will always be a Nazarene preacher's daughter. And so when I hear a sermon that's kind of like that, it just gets me to thinking, right? So she talked about, the preacher talked about this moment where the two Marys are coming to the tomb, and they come upon this angel who is in such a bright white, it's blinding, it's like lightning walking up, and there's an earthquake, and it's all very dramatic. And she talks about the drama of resurrection. But every Matthew, as well as John, and all of the other Gospels, they say he has already risen. He's not here. Go and find Jesus. So the whole "up from the grave he arose" thing, that has to do with the earthquake and the fanfare and the announcement that he's risen. But he's already risen. And it was a really quiet moment. He didn't break out of his grave clothes like the Hulk out of his tiny pants. He just shook them off, maybe, and stepped away and stepped out of the grave. And what I was thinking as I was sitting there is part of the grief process for me was almost like burying myself, and my body shut down for a really long time. And I kind of wanted to just join my mom, not consciously necessarily, but depressed and depression and darkness. And in order to come out of it, I had to choose life. And what real resurrection is infinite, quiet moments of choosing life over death. Because death is way simpler. It's way quieter. It's way more peaceful. And it was for Jesus as well. He was being pursued, ridiculed, reviled, betrayed. Coming back to life was not the easy thing. It was not like winning a war. He was going back into war. He was going back into everyday stuff. The ascension later, that was the big dramatic moment. But the resurrection, the choosing life over death, was very quiet. And he just did it. And I realized that that's how it is in our own lives. Again, quite apart from religion, that resurrection is choosing to risk and choosing to dive on in there and be in relationship with people and be a part of a community and do something that scares us absolutely spitless. Hello, memoir about coming of age. I mean, I have no words with how weighty it feels right now to be almost finished. And yet I choose life. I choose to live over the risk avoidance of death. And that, to me, is what Easter will forever be about. And what I think it can be about in our own lives. To stand up and have an opinion and get, lose friends because of it. To jump off a cliff and go for something that's been in our gut for a long time, or just as a whim. I don't know. Whatever it looks like for you. May you experience that today and every day. And as I watch you do it, I get inspired to keep doing it myself. So thank you for being in my life of resurrection. And happy day after Easter. I hope you're all chocolated out. Bye.